Well, guys, welcome back to another episode here on my Let's Play series. I am Boomer, your host this evening. And yes, we are hanging out here just sitting up in the air, waiting for something to happen, right? Actually, I want to kind of show you here. We had to do a major overhaul on the Iron Golem farm. We found out a few of the, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, remnant bugs, whatever, were causing some issues. And so we had to literally rebuild the entire Iron Golem farm. Now, as I've said previously in the series, the goal was to build the base, not necessarily inside of the farms for aesthetics. So if I were to build this outside of this building, I would probably do it a little bit different. But I want to go over some of the problems we had. For example, you see that zombie going back and forth in all the mine carts. That's being designed to scare the villagers, and I'm using, as you can see, two iron trap doors to give us maximum visibility for the villagers to see them without allowing them to escape or the zombie to be able to strike them. What I initially had was a zombie going down the 3 layers, stopping in each one, scaring the villagers, going to another one, and the entire loop took just under 40 seconds. So they were getting scared pretty close to the maximum potential efficiency. However, some weird things started happening. Iron Golem started spawning on slabs, bottom slabs, on stairs, on top of stairs with string on top of the stairs. Now, technically, they are actually spawning on a spawnable spot 1 or 2 blocks under that, which by all means should not be able to happen. Mojang still has not fixed that. I submitted a bug report and they closed it immediately. So because it's not 116.3 or above, they're not going to deal with it. So fine, whatever. When it happens in 116.3 and 4 and they get flooded with hundreds of complaints, I'm going to say, well, I told you it's been going since that I know of since 1.7 and has yet to be fixed in a single edition. So I don't expect a fix in 116 either. However, having said that, so we had that problem, and because of that, the Iron Golems were able to get to the zombies and kill them. So then I changed to this design without the walls. The walls were actually a last-minute addition. Even previously before that, what I had to do is I'd have the zombie go down, hit that detector rail, and put about 5 repeaters on 4 ticks behind it. So actually the zombie would sit on the end for about 3 seconds, scare the crap out of the villagers, go back the other way, sit for 3 seconds, go back and forth. And it did slow the productivity down. Now, this initially started, as if you remember, I was talking about Ilmango put out a 116 peaceful peaceful Iron Golem farm using nothing but villagers. In 115, they still have to have workstations. 116, that feature was removed for God knows why. I guess, Mojang just continues to give in to the people who say, make the game easier, because this is 10 times easier than it was when I first started playing in 1.7. Actually, I think it was 1.6.4 when I first started playing. But it continues to get easier and easier with more things, and it takes less effort and work to figure this game out. So anyways, I'm done ranting. So we had a couple of those challenges going on. So when I changed it to this design, they are spaced 20 blocks apart. Ilmango, I believe, in his video talks about, or you can see by the build, you needed 16. So I went 20. One of the downsides are, as the Iron Golems fall from the top layers, when they would land or just briefly catch on the gates below, like that guy just did down below, and if he were to go down and get caught, he could temporarily register in one of the other groups as being present when they were checking to see if an Iron Golem was spawned. So when you are stacking, you will get lower rates, no matter how you stack it. I've tried probably a dozen different scenarios. There may be one, and there probably is. I mean, the real easy way would be to push the water even further so that as they fall, they can't trip that. I mean, that's the obvious one. I would have to do a lot of redesigning in here to make that happen. I'd have to change how we collect the iron golems at the bottom. Sometimes as they were falling even, they would hit each other and knock each other far enough to where one of them could get to the zombie. So to stop all that, I had to put this wall up. And yes, it's kind of ugly, but it's inside what I'm calling the iron quad. Nobody can see it from the outside. You can see it from way below, but it's not the end of the world. So as far as production, if you're asking, well, how much better is this? I keep a guide on here too, by the way, to get me slime balls. How much more or less efficient is this versus what did I just do? Nope. Okay, we're good. I thought I hit the wrong button. How much more or less efficient is this versus a NumMom build? The one where he has a zombie go to 5 different spots on the same Y level. If I remember right, the maximum capacity on that design is somewhere between 325 and 350, depending on what they drop. I'm seeing right around 200 to 210 per hour from each of those cells, which I'm more than happy with, because not only do I have, well, I've got some in here, but over the last 2 or 3 days, I have almost a full double chest of blocks that, unless I make a build out of iron blocks, I might as well just toss them in the lava. I mean, I really have so much iron. And yeah, we sell iron at the server shop every day, but you can only sell, we have a strict limit of 1,000 items to the server every day, so people don't just sit in AFK and sell things at the server. That's not what we wanted here. We wanted actual player interaction to force you to build, to force you to work. So setting up massive AFK farms doesn't get you anywhere, because, like I said, you can only redeem so much every day anyways. So I'm purposely in the mode, I have fly mode on right now. I'm going to just be honest with you, because I wanted to be able to show this all to you. So the base is pretty much done. I still have to clean the chest out. But let's take you up through the iron quad and actually give it a name of the iron quad. What is that? Oh, you know what? I got on smoke detector alarms chirping. I guess I need to replace the battery. So I kind of brought the design up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure I like it, because the middle section and the top and the bottom don't blend quite right. I almost feel like I needed to take the middle section and continue some sort of pattern up there. Now, I still have to add a few more features. We're going to put in windows and such. Just the ice blocks set back 1 block, as long as it doesn't interfere with the iron golem farm. We still have some mechanics that, according to Mojang, are impossible. I still have iron golem spawning on that platform down below, which is like 20 taxi cab distance. It's like 24, 25 blocks from the farm, which is impossible according to Mojang, that they can't do that. So I say, well, yeah, I whatever. I don't have anything on the back. I don't necessarily like the plainness of it either. So the design's going to change a little bit. Like I said, we're going to make it look like it's an office building. I'm probably going to incorporate more prismarine bricks into the top half, just to, I love the middle design of that. I think that turned out very nice, very clean, but the transitions between the two don't flow that well. So I clearly need some more, and I think by adding in the windows as well as trim for it, using prismarine bricks, brick stairs, slabs, and maybe a little bit of sea lantern, that not only can we light up the top half, but we can make this transition look a little bit better. So I'm going to continue to play with that over time to see, can we make this look a little bit better. But the iron quad is up and running. Like I said, it is producing for me and on the server way more iron than I will ever need. And I got to tell you, I'm really liking how it's moving. It's not ideal on the inside, but again, this was kind of this one wasn't exactly planned and laid out before the server started. I had a rough idea. I actually have this base in a single player world, although it looks completely different than this. And periodically I'd go back in and make changes and try to make it work out. And I've adapted a lot since then, but I still go back and reference it. What was the initial idea? Because there's still so much you haven't seen yet, because it's not here. The bridges still aren't in, the dome's still not in. half of the farms that are designed for this area are still in. We still haven't done the floor or the walls. So a lot's been done. It's been over 3 months we've been at this, almost 3.5 now. And we're still going to continue to dig in and get more of this done. I was going to start doing some more of the floor. I just did a tiny little bit and I held off because honestly, I want to work on a mine. You know, I had a mine to start with. It was actually off of this wall back over here. And I don't even know where the entrance to the mine is anymore. I think that it's behind this andesite. I'm not totally sure, and it's okay because that's going to actually, the part of the wall, that front layer where you see the sand going up and down, is going to be removed. So the natural sits there because the glass isn't going to go above this top edge. Anything above y equals 62 has to be natural terrain. So going all the way around, that'll be natural terrain. We won't be able to see out. It's a weird cut, and that's a natural cut too, not something I carved out. But we've got a lot done, and that's where I'm excited. We still have to get the villager trading hall built up. We have to get our XP farm built back up. We're going to redo it with cactus. The last one that you saw was 10 layers of, I believe, 49 apiece. The next XP farm will probably be somewhere similar in size, maybe a little bit more. I want to kind of play around with it. That smoke detector is really driving me nuts. I should go get a battery. But I want to get to the mine, so we're going to head over there. And actually, I want to show you where we're coming off of. Here, let me turn the flame off. We've got to play this game the right way. So coming out of the center, you guys are familiar with this if you've been watching, Guardian Farm. Man, that thing is pumping. Look at that. I mean, the other day, I didn't craft any prismarine blocks for 3 days. Every single chest on almost both sides was completely packed, almost to the point where I just had to go crazy and just start crafting stuff. So I crafted up about 18 double chests of materials, and most of that's already gone. This was the last tower that has not started a farm in. This was meant to be the Netherwart. There'll be a second farm up here. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. More than likely, I really don't know because I don't need to be able to generate that much Netherwart. So I'm thinking it might be the Chorus flower farm, not the fruit, just the flower farm. I'm going to have 2 farms, one for Chorus flower, one for the fruit. That way I can literally, pull the plug with water and let it run. The other thought is I could do Netherwart and cocoa bean and vine in here. I've got a cocoa bean design farm that I want to use that is similar to something Impulse SV did. I was kind of working on something, and he beat me to it as far as getting it done. But the designs are very similar, using observer blocks on pistons to force them to move a little bit faster and kind of in sequence. So we carried this tunnel out, and we started building what will be the storage area for the mine. There are, if I remember right, 11 items that could come out of a mine if you're using either Silk Touch or Fortune. I believe there's 11. So if I'm using Fortune, you've got, oh, no, actually there's 14. Because I had gotten cobble, sand, dirt. Potentially there could be grass, but if you're using Fortune, you're not going to get grass anyways. And you wouldn't put Fortune on grass. You'd use a shovel with efficiency 5. But so I had cobble, dirt, sand, the ores, and then I forgot about granite and andesite and this guy's favorite, diorite. So I'd set this up with the 12 items. And actually, really what this is I was going to do this crazy little thing where the hoppers would come in different sequences and set me up with, like, for example, the first 15 or 20 chests were going to be all cobble. Then here, the top 3 would be one, say, diorite, and the bottom 2, or top 3 would be andesite, the bottom 2 would be diorite. It would have worked easier if I turned the chest sideways. because you could literally have two sets of hoppers coming down, sorters right next to each other. One would stop at the first three chests, the other one would go all the way down to the bottom two and only put items into there. But when I redesigned or designed this room, I turned the chest sideways. So now to get creative is a whole different sequence of events. In other words, I kind of pooch myself. So what'll happen is there'll be a spot in the back there with a minecart. I'll have a minecart that will bring the items to me and bring the minecart back to me. But it'll be, all the different basic things. I'm only going to keep like 5 chests of cobble. I've still got 5 back at the base. We'll do sand, we'll do dirt, granite, andesite, and then I'm not going to do one for emeralds. I'll stick those in my ender chest and bring them back probably, simply just because you hardly ever see any, and I'm not in a mountain biome, so I don't expect to run across too many emeralds. As far as gold ore and iron ore, those will automatically go to a furnace first, be smelted, and then jump into the sorting system. I'm going to have to set that up just a little bit higher for the minecart to come back to pull those out first, send them to the furnace, and then have the furnace pull them out right into the sorting system down here. Now, I'm not going to need the iron. You guys just saw, right? All that iron, I'm not going to need. But what I am going to do is work on starting to clear this up. I'm going to clear a tunnel to what we're going to clear for the mines is we're actually going to clear y equals 17 down to 5. Now, I know gold doesn't tend to go up to 17, but coal and redstone do. And I'm still going to need an insane amount of that stuff for down the road. So we're going to start by finding, first of all, in clearing this path, getting all the way up to y equals, the stairs are going to go up actually to y equals 11. Then I'm going to clear 12 and 13, which would be the height of my avatar, and then mine 14 through 17 straight up with an efficiency 5 pick and a haste 2 beacon. And that's, we're going to clear out a 101 by 101 with that beacon in place. Then we're going to drop down to y equals 5 and do the same thing. So we're going to clear out 101 by 101 by 12, or roughly 122,000 blocks per area that we go and clear out. And then we'll move the beacon 101 blocks in whatever direction we need to go. The reason we're not going to go much more above 17 is because we are underwater. Going in the direction I'm facing right now is underwater. So we're going to do that, and my hope is at the same time that we find a couple of slime chunks, because to be honest with you, I'd love to have the slime chunk running down here while I'm mining. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Because then I could still mine 5 more 101 by 101s around that first center, and majority of that would keep the slime farm running regardless of where the chunk is. And if I need to move chunks over, I can move the chunks over and create multiple farms. I could create I mean, as you've seen, if you've been watching the series, just how many slime chunks are in my base already. So I'm going to get digging. I'll come back in a little while. I just want to get this started, get you up to speed, and we will be happy to show that to you in just a little bit. Well, what do you know, guys? I actually got this thing built. Let me kind of take you back out here a little bit again. So coming back in, we simply just carry this pattern all the way from the farms that are going to be built in here. So we're continuing back, and we've actually continued it back into the build itself. We're going to store about a dozen different items in here so far. So we set it up with the building blocks on one side and the ores on the other. I decided to keep the iron in an ore state versus smelting it automatically and having it pile in here. Instead, more than likely what I'm going to end up using it for is as I need to, as a secondary XP farm. If I know I'm going to go on a big mine, you get a lot of XP from mining gold and iron. So I'll probably just keep those ready. And then when I know I'm going on a big mining trip, if I don't have the super smelter completely built up or the XP farm, I can go ahead and use a lot of iron ore to repair picks relatively quickly. So we just kind of kept the same theme, bringing it over up into the mine area itself. I've stuck a beacon at 51 blocks away, so it's covering a 101 by 101. And what we'll do is when we have items, we'll simply trigger it, shut it off, or I might change it to a button, and it'll come back into the sorting room. And so this actually will kick back out right away because there's nothing in there. We'll come up here. This is the standard, okay, you know what? We got a hopper underneath there. As soon as an item goes in that hopper, comparator picks it up, shuts this torch off, and on the top side of that block is actually a redstone dust, which is powering that. So as soon as something goes in a hopper, this whole circuit shuts off, depowers it, lets the minecart chest drain out. From there, I have two items that I sort. The first one is it actually catches coal, excuse me. Now, right now, I just started by putting a few kelp in there, blocks, just to catch the initial ones that come down. So if you're not catching coal or gold ore, it'll continue on this upper path, work its way down, and go into the sorting system. Gold that gets smelted through here will catch its way in, but the excess coal isn't. I didn't want to mess things up. I mean, either way, it would still work. Actually, if I brought it down one more, nothing would sort in here. It would actually all go down. So I actually had to stop it, wait for all of that to back up. Can I hit that one? I have to get it by jumping. Yep. That top one I don't think I can catch. There we go. So there's the sorter. So it's completely full. So now the coal actually goes up and over, down, and then works its way into the sorter. I'll probably clean this room up a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer later on down the road. Make sure I've got a walkway between the two, either over or above. So now that we have Haste 2 in here with the beacon, we can start clearing out at any given moment. I do know that there is a large underwater cavern that going in this direction, actually I believe, yeah, it's this direction. I'm going to hit pretty quick, so I got to be kind of careful. And then just coming back here, there's little pockets of caves and stuff where some of this is already blown out, but again, I'm only going 6 blocks up from what I'm walking on anyway, so that it's open, it's not a big deal. Then we know we're going to encounter lava pits. We know we're going to encounter other water here. And actually right here we have some water coming in from that. So when we hit that, we got to be careful where we hit it so it doesn't derail our minecart. And it's huge. We've tried clearing some of the water out. I can't. I'm actually going to have to possibly build ceilings just to stop it because there is so much water up there. So these caverns are great. This is where the beacon stops, or comes to, I'm sorry, it stops one more block over. So I don't have to worry about going into this for now. I will be going up to explore the mine shafts that are up there at a later time. As far as, storing, I didn't set up a thing to store obsidian. I may just come through, depending on how deep the lava is, I'm going to have to find out just by using some buckets and getting an idea how deep it is. But that's kind of what we're going to do. So this will be our mine. We're probably going to get started and start working on clearing some areas out. I'm hoping that there is a slime chunk somewhere close to here. So I'd like to be able to have, this is all solid rock in here from what we can tell. So I'd like to be able to have a slime farm running at the same time. I have a temporary one out in the middle of nowhere and it doesn't look that good. So this is all pretty much done in this area at least. Like I said, we may make minor changes. I'm looking at the ceiling and it doesn't go up the same rate the stairs does, but that's okay because we're stopping where it at, but I might tweak it a little just to, I don't know, maybe I'll bring this down one layer just to match it up and then halfway move it up. We'll play with it. The other thing I'm not too thrilled upon is how this ends, because the ceiling's at a different height to accommodate having that many chests. Now, I'm probably will never have, 5 diamond, um, but having 5 of each of those cobble, that'll take, just a few mining sessions and that'll be completely full. So, yeah, we'll see. We may have to bring shulker boxes over, or we may have to change some of the stuff. Maybe we'll dig this out a little bit and put more in there, or maybe we'll extend. I don't know. I guess we'll have to kind of see and decide what the needs of the base are going to require us. We know we need a ton of sand, a ton of gravel. We know we need a lot of black ink for dyeing, but that's a whole other part of the build. So, guys, I think we've wrapped up. We've got our mine going, we've got the iron quad going, and it's been holding pretty steady for a few days now. So I think I can actually quit messing with it. I am going to tweak down the road a little bit the build itself, the building. Like I said, we're going to add some more prismarine bricks to it. We're going to add some windows to it, ice windows, of course, which means we need an ice farm. We're in a deep ocean biome. It's not going to work out here, so we're going to have to go find us, frozen spikes or a cold taiga somewhere where we can grow some ice. So that'll be for a later episode down the road. I think for now I'll probably just buy some packed ice from the shop. It's a little expensive, but I don't need a ton of it. Probably have to spend about 10 grand on ice, so we'll see. But we're going to wrap this up. I thank you guys for watching. If you're new, consider subscribing. As always, you got to go Boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.